This is what we're doing, man. We heading in live. Yeah, we're going to talk about some things today. Welcome to TBBC88FM. This is The Block. This is where we hang out. This is where all the conversation goes down. We talk about it. We read about it. We do about it. Yeah, I'm going to put the phone number up in here. So that line is 818-284-4613. Call in. Let's talk about this president situation. You know what I mean? Yeah, y'all hit that share button if you get a chance. Come on in, hit the share button. That's the call-in number if you want to talk about the 45th, the 44th, the 43rd, the 42nd, 41st, 40, on down the line. Let's talk about it. You know, I see on my timeline a lot of people talking about the 45th. You know, like everything just started happening once he came into play. You know, and if you can hear me, somebody give me a thumbs up. If everything sounds good, you can understand what I'm saying and everything like that. Just shoot me some hearts, cross the thing or something. Tap your share button when you come into the forum. We're going to talk about this thing. I've been seeing a lot of posts on my Facebook page. Okay, appreciate that. I've been seeing a lot of posts on my Facebook page about the president and all the situation of America. Thank you for the thumbs up, people. I love y'all for that. Hit that share button. Let somebody else know we're talking about this. I really want to hear what y'all got to say. I posted the number up earlier, and I'll probably try to post it throughout the thing. You can call in at 818-284-4613. 818-284-4613. Like to hear what's going on your mind and what's going on, what's happening. Where we at, man? I put the title up. Today is President's Day. Everybody's off, but a lot of people are anti-President Day today. You know what I mean? So because of Donald Trump being the president, as ignorant as he is, it is what it is. But we want to talk about it. You know, I want to talk about not only the 45th, the 44th, the 43rd. You know, all the way back probably to Reagan. I think this is when the madness started. As far as our community is concerned, it started with Reagan, then the Bushes, and then Clinton, and then, you know, so they put their sauce on making us dysfunctional. But everybody seems to be focusing right now on the 45th. So I want to know, you know, what is it? I mean, I agree with you. He is a little out of control. Well, a lot of out of control. But I don't think he's the reason where we are today. I think he's just a dysfunctional president that got in because of a system that white folks set up called the electoral voting system, you know, college system. So until you get rid of that, they will always be able to put in office who they want in office. And if you're coming in, hit that share button, share with your listeners and your followers and stuff. But I really want to hear what's going on. Deb says he's not my president. I get it, but you could say it, he's not. But the fact is that he is. It ain't nothing nobody can do. You know, he got 4 years to be as ignorant as he wants to be. I mean, we can sit here and say, well, he ain't my president, he ain't this, he ain't that. But he is. You know, he is the president, whether you want him to be or not. He is. You know, just like I'm sure a lot of people were saying the same things when Obama was in the president, only because he was a black man. But there was a lot of white folks saying he ain't my president. But the fact was that he was your president. You know, and all the presidents have been our presidents, whether we agree or not. You know what I mean? So let's talk about, you know, the solutions and stuff, or what we have to do as a group in America to try to get through this ignorant presidency. You know, but to me, I got beefs and gripes with all of them, starting with the Reagan era, all the way through the Clinton era, the Bush era, then the Clinton era, then the Bush era again. And then so to me, all of them really didn't do anything specifically for our community. Even Obama, not directly. No, like he gave gay rights their ability to get married. We know that he specifically did something for them. So I'm talking about us. I'm talking about as a group. Yeah, he's the 45th. And at the end of the day, he is the president of the United States. Whether he's yours or not, that's a personal choice. But the fact is, the man is making decisions that will affect you, whether you accept him as your president or not. Rashonda says the change starts with us and in our community. If we want things to change, we have to look at ourselves. This is true. Rashawn, and I agree with you 100%. The only problem that we have is that we are a dysfunctional people who do not understand or don't have the concept of how do you work together as a group. So first you got to educate us on how do you come together and work as a group. We're so dysfunctional and against each other that it's into our personal families, it's into the churches separating, it's into every avenue of us. It's always about us fighting each other and not getting along with each other before we do anything together. So part of the DNA, you know, we got 400 years of shit we got to get out of our DNA. And in order for us to even get on the same page, right now, you can't even find a group or a person who has a plan for the black community. We all kind of know that we need to work, and it's going to take us to get us out of this shit. But at the end of the day, none of us really have a plan. I mean, there are some plans out there, but they're not being promoted towards the forefront. You got the Al Sharptons and all them with that same old bullshit, civil rights, equal rights. You know, I'm way past keep going back to a dead horse, beating that motherfucker and actually thinking he's going to wake up and do something for me. It's not going to happen. White people are that dead horse. They don't want to hear it. They don't care about your situation, your family, your group, your people. They don't give a damn. They feel like just because you can get a job in their community that you should be all right and okay. And they know damn well that any functional group in America, and I keep saying groups because we are, whether we want to believe it or not, we are groups. They are groups or tribes or whatever you want to call it. Everybody has their group that they're affiliated with. And our group is the only group in America, and I've said this over and over, who was not trained as children to be a functional community. Everything about who we are and what we are came from white people, and they put the dysfunctional seed into our DNA, and it has carried over 400 plus years. We're still dysfunctional. Even though we see it, we still won't stop and say, hold up, we don't did enough for y'all. We don't fought in every war. We don't give you all our money. You got all our talent. We work in all your jobs. You give us peanuts for what we work for, but we continue to do it over and over and over and over and over again. So when do we wake up and say, okay, it's going to take us? We know that it is, but nobody has a plan that's in the forefront that we can give to our people that will work. And there are plans out there, but none of our people know about it. You know, so you got Al Sharpton and all these other sellouts now who are trying to do legislation, politics and legislation to try to get us into or in a better position. And if that was going to be the cure-all to everything, by now we should pretty much be all right. But it's not about that. It's about working as a group. Now, Deb says, still not her president. I get it. Until they do something for the black people, they're not. So but none of them have. You're talking about the 45th. None of the presidents have done anything for your people. Not one. You know, President Obama did a few things with the jail and all that, but nothing specific. Nobody can put a pin of point where they can say that he actually did something for the black people. Because the only conversation that needs to be had is reparations and repaying us for the free labor that they got from our people. But that's not going to be discussed. And until a president brings that discussion to the table, or a political person says, yes, I'm willing to go to bat for you for that, then everything is full of shit, because they know that if the black community is going to be successful, it's going to be an economic success, not that. And that's the only thing I want from them. I don't want anything else from them. You can keep your schools, you can keep your communities, your jobs, all that shit. Give me what you owe me from my ancestral free slave labor that you did with my people. Give me my money, my land, make it right with me, and I'll take care of my own self. Or I'll find a group of people who thinking like I'm thinking, and we'll go out here and we'll build what we want. But as far as our communities, everything that you see around your community, everything that we're doing as a dysfunctional group was a deliberate plan to put us in that position. So what did Deb say? She said black people. That clears up our minds about who and how we fit into this country as equals, then maybe my president. But like I said, you could start 45 and go all the way back to Reagan, and ain't never one of them gave a damn about you and your people. You're never going to be equal to them because they got a 400-year head start. So the only thing that you can do is try to get enough money that you owe us and enough land that we can do what the Indians did. And I think we'll do it in a smarter way because we're educated, we got more money, we are the fabric of this country. We can make our world better, but it's going to take us taking our resources, our monies, and our like-mindedness and building what we want to build. For instance, if our black communities don't want to convert back to being functional, fuck it. You keep it. Go somewhere else and buy some land and build another community. It's easy to do. Land is available. Go do that. You don't have to sit here and wait and keep asking the people who put you in the position that you're in today to now some kind of way want to help you get out of it. Shit don't work like that, man. You know, we have to stop acting like it do. It does not work like that. We're never going to be able to get what it is that we want, man. It's never going to happen. So what we have to do, we have to create our own. We have to create our own lifestyle, our own way how we want to live. We have the money, we have the ingenuity, we have everything. We have the education. We have everything that we need to make this shit pop off. All we got to do is just go do it. Stop sitting back begging these white folk for stuff that that's clearly that they're not going to give it to you. They never designed it for you, so you're not going to get it. So stop asking people for something that you're not going to get. Now, y'all hit that share button. Make sure you share. I want people to hear, and let's talk about this. Call in if you want to. I want to hear what you got to say. 818-284-4613. Because the truth of the matter, sometimes it gets a little difficult for me to read all these captures that y'all be typing. And some of y'all are long-winded typers, and I don't have time to sit and read it. But I do have time to talk about it, so let's talk about it. So he ain't your president. So what the hell is it? He's making decisions for you, whether you accept them or not. That's what I'm trying to get people to wake up and see. You can sit here all day and say, yeah, Donald Trump ain't my president. Well, according to the rest of the world, he's the decision maker for you. So whether you want him to be or not, you still got to listen to what this clown is saying, so you'll know how to conduct yourself and respond to things that's going to affect your world. Whether you want it to or not, it is going to affect your world. I'm sitting up here inviting people, so y'all got to, so you might see the screen shaking. That's because I'm hitting things. Because I really want to get some dialogue going, man. I really want us to talk about this. The only way we're going to fix it is on platforms like this, where we can come in and have real conversation about some of this stuff that we're doing and how do we fix it? What do we do to fix this? You know what I mean? So it can be fixed, but it's going to take us moving in a direction of fixing it. I'm done with that for now. I'll come back. So we're at the 45th. Everybody's saying he ain't my president. I get it. My question to you, Deb says sign a petition. What would a petition do, Deb? I mean, we've signed, there wasn't a bigger petition than the petition of civil rights. It got us civil rights because on paper, it didn't get us civil rights in heart. You know, so petitions is not it. I mean, you could boycott, you could do all that stuff. I mean, it's a right now situation to a long-term fix, but it ain't gonna do anything. You know, marching and all that stuff, unless Black America, the only thing it would work. The only way it would work, Black America, is if you're willing to pull every dime of your money off for however long it takes. You just stop spending money with folk, and then that's the only thing. But there again, then you got to deal with the Achilles heel that we have faced as a people. We can't even get along. We can't even get along within our own families. That's more trying to pull a nation together. So, but that's what it's going to take. The boycott with the bus in Birmingham didn't happen because people didn't want to get out and do it. It happened because people went into it. And I guarantee you, if those black people had known it was going to be about a year, when they went into it, they probably wouldn't have went into it. You couldn't come to black people saying, yeah, this is going to take about a year or two, but we're going to get it. We stay the course to get it done. No, they had to walk that thing out as it came, and it ended up being a year before white folk realized, okay, let's just do this. And I don't even know if it was because of the money or if it was because they just gave up and said, forget it. Let them sit where they want to sit. So, boycotts and all that shit, 2017, I don't know if that's it. You know, I'm not really sure if that's it. I do know what the fix is, but I'm not sure if that's it. You know what I mean? The fix is that we got to take our money, our education, our resources, and build what we want to build. Plain and simple. There is nothing else for us to do. There's no white people coming to save you. You can go meet with the president, all of them, and they're going to tell you a bunch of shit that you want to hear, but ain't nobody going to put nothing and going to make nothing happen. It's not going to happen because that's not how America works. You don't become the weakest economic arm in America and expect to get everything you want in politics. It doesn't work like that. Politics game is money driven. So if it's money driven, then you got to have money in your group to be able to give to the politicians to make moves that you want to make moves. The gay gender didn't get passed because they just was picking in and marching. They had money. They were playing the game of politics. So their agenda came up on the table because they had the money to put it there. Black people have been going to, and we getting peanuts. Every time we go to these politicians, we get peanuts. And we okay with the peanuts. Is what's crazy. We okay with it. We okay with not getting what we want. So now everybody's saying this is not your president, but he running shit for 4 years. And it's going to affect you for 4 years. And if you don't prepare for the next 4 years, he going to be in that motherfucker for 8 years. And then it's going to be 8 years that you're going to be suffering up under this dude. You know, nobody's preparing for what's coming down the line. Everybody's complaining, but nobody's preparing. Like, if you want to do a petition, do this petition. Put a petition together to say, we want the electoral college voting system eliminated. It should be one vote for whoever you want, and may the best man win based on what the numbers come out to be. If you get more of the people in America votes, that's it. That's it. Count the numbers, count the people. One person, one vote. And whatever that number turned out to be, at least you know that person's in office without any trickery. Because all the electoral college voting system did is a loophole white folk put in place in case they don't like who the public is voting for. So if they don't want who you want in office, they use the electoral vote to shift that shit. So at the end of the day, if you don't get rid of that, then hey, Deb says it works if you get to the right people. Now, who would those people be, Deb? I want to know who those people are, because I think we go to pretty much all of them asking them for shit and it don't work. I mean, we've been petitioning and asking for stuff. And even what's cool, what's crazy is white people will write it down, the powers that be. This ain't, if you're a white person and this don't apply to you, they don't take it personal. But I'm pretty sure it applied to some of your ancestors somewhere down the line. So anyway, they put their systems and they write shit down, but they don't even follow the stuff that they write down. The reason we got the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment is because they didn't want to just make everybody equal with the First Amendment. It's crazy. Why would you amend something when you could just do the right thing? So they're not trying to do the right thing. They don't want to do the right thing. But we keep going back to this dead horse, beating it, expecting the dead horse that put us in the situation to now get us out. And Donald Trump is not the problem. He's just a crazy motherfucker who running the country. But he is not the problem. What's up, Sint? Long time, eh? But he's not the problem. Donald Trump is not your problem. He's just a part of the mind setting of the people who set all this shit up. He just saying stuff out loud that most of them don't say out loud. That they do that shit behind the closed doors and they say stuff. Donald Trump is just saying it out loud. And that's why they don't like him. And that's why people don't understand it. But really, that's how they all thinking behind the doors. They just can't control him to not say it publicly. So at the end of the day, so everybody say, okay, let's impeach him. Okay, then you got Mike Pence. Oh boy, that ain't no better. I mean, he's worse than Donald. He is the devil. He is the thief in the night, because he knows how to play the political game. So he'll show you what he wants you to see, but behind the tables they're gonna be doing all kind of crazy stuff. So he is not. That's not like a good thing to impeach Donald. You know, even though he needs to go away, but they both need to go away. You know what I mean? So, but then the chain of line of commandment as it goes down gets worse. Out of the people that he put in line, as it gets worse. If you don't have the president or vice president, then you got, I think it's the secretary. And this gets worse and worse. It don't get no better. So what do you do? What do we do, people? What do we do? You say that ain't your president. Okay. All right. I hear you. If he ain't your president, then who is? You tell me who is. Because I'm listening. What's the plan, people? Call in. Let me hear what you got to say. It's President's Day. Ain't nobody freaking working. Y'all can't tell me you at your job and you can't talk and all that kind of stuff, because yes, you can. What's up, Sean? You so stupid. Anyway, call in. Your 45th president, this is his day. Some of y'all say he ain't your president, but I say he is your president. You just ain't claiming him, but it's kind of like he is. For 4 years, you're married to a person you don't love. But every decision that they make is going to affect you one way or the other. So at the end of the day, call in 818-284-4613. Y'all ain't working? Call in. Let me hear what you got to say. CC, what's happening? Y'all ain't working. Call in. What did y'all think about your 45th? I'm going from the 45th, 44, 43rd, 42nd, 41, 40th. I think Reagan was the 40th or somewhere down in that room. From Reagan all the way up to Trump. What has really been different? Trump, nobody likes Trump, but because when I look at presidents, I look at stuff for what they do specifically for my group. My group is this color. This is us whether we want to be or not. You are a black person in America. Yeah, so my thing is, what have any other presidents done specifically for the black community? Has anybody fought for our reparations for them using our ancestors for free labor? Everybody else got paid, but nobody wants to talk about that. Y'all don't even know what you want to fight for. You're trying to get rights in a system that wasn't even designed to give you rights. But you fight for it every day. You go to bat. You think legislation and politics is going to change your situation. It has nothing to do with what's on paper. It has to do with the heart of the person. The heart of the people is what has to change. If your heart don't change toward a group, I don't care how much they write it. Hell, they wrote the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, and some white folk in power still don't give you rights. Look at what they did to your 44th president. I mean, you can't get in no higher seat than what you are. You can't get in any higher seat than the president. But yet, he was the most disrespected president only because of his skin, even though they knew he had white in him. So you can't. So at the end of the day, it's a skin thing. It ain't got nothing to do with us, man. This is the thing of how it was set up. Every country has groups in it, and we're just one of those groups who refuse to become a group because we fight so fucking hard to try to get into these white groups till we forget our own identity. It's like we don't even know who we are. And y'all do me a favor and hit your share button so we can see who else want to join in on this. Call me up, 818-284-4613. Y'all ain't working, everybody off because your 45th president is his day, and so everything is closed. Everybody off. So my line should be lit up. I should have tons of people watching this, but we don't because everybody got other things that they're trying to do. But y'all worried about, every day I look at Facebook, somebody got something to say about Trump. Every day somebody got something to say about Trump. We don't like Trump. Trump this, Trump that. So what do? Are you preparing for the next 8 years that's coming? Because it's coming. The next 4 years, it's coming. Nobody's talking about how do we prepare? How do we get the seats back in the Senate? If you're going to play the political game, you got to be preparing yourself for these next moves. Because in the next year, I think, all the seats are going to be up for grab. Just like the Republican Party stole it from the Democrats, then the Democrats going to have to get off their ass and go get those seats back just to try to bring some balance in the White House. Same thing that the Republicans did when they got the seats and how they treated Obama. You better have the same mindset about getting Democrats in them seats so you could balance this thing out. Because if you don't, then you're not going to win. If they remain if they control the Hill and the White House, it's a wrap. Y'all can forget it. You might as well sit back and enjoy the ride. Because it's going down. It's going down just like that. Ain't nothing we're going to be able to do. So, yeah, man. Y'all better do something real fast. People falling off like flies. Nobody got nothing to say. But every time I read my timeline, everybody got everything to say. You know what I mean? So, who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only person woke. And everybody else just believing that for some reason when we meet with these presidents, and we meet with these people, that they're actually going to do something for you. And I just want you to say, look at this. Since the time King marched for civil rights, and then when he was getting ready to go back to the D.C. the second time, and they assassinated him for economic rights, what really has changed specifically in the black community that we could say this changed, and this president or these people did this for us? You know, like I could say for Native American, even though they took all the land, they gave them land, and they get money, they get millions of dollars every year. They got casinos on every reservation that makes billions of dollars every year. That's something that they got that's tangible, that they can say they got. And all we can say we got is communities and jobs. And we could play sports, jobs. We could do movies, jobs. We could make music, jobs. But we don't really own any Fortune 500 companies or anything like that. You know, so when you don't own those things, then you're just a consumer group. And if you're a consumer group, you can cry all you want to how this system treating you, but you're the consumer. You're the one who don't have a group. You don't have a nation backing you. You don't have nobody outside of America coming to rescue you. I don't remember seeing God, not one damn bow and arrow or spear coming from Africa when we were over here being tortured. Nobody from no other country said, you know, you're doing the African people wrong. That's not what we intended for slavery to be like. Nobody came. It was us. But now everybody got the nerve to try to talk shit about black America when they get over here. Y'all black Americans, they don't know nothing. I ask them the history of us. Nobody don't know shit. They don't know nothing about what black Americans went through. None of that. When I tell them, they be like, oh man, I didn't know that went on. Yeah, you ever heard of Black Wall Street? What is Black Wall Street? Yeah, well, that's when America did its first bombing from the air and killed about 3,000 or 4,000 black people in a community in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Go do some research. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like people come, people go. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I just think that we should be able to do this thing a little different. So where's the country going now, people? Where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? Now that you are free. F-R-E-E, free. So I'm just saying, I'm just asking the question. You know what I mean? While I send out some more invitations to people who obviously, I might have came in a little too early for people. I think it's kind of about 4 or 5 o'clock on the East Coast. It's vacation time. Everybody's chilling. You know what I mean? Ah, boy. But I just wanted to come in and talk about that. You know, it's the President's Day, and everybody's kind of anti-President Day because of Trump, you know, whatever. But like I say, troubles didn't start with Trump. Our troubles didn't start with Trump. What's up, Joe? What's up, Jody? Good to see you, man. So, you know, our troubles didn't start with Trump. It's going to take an administration in this country. It's not coming to save our communities. I don't care how much we go to the White House. You got to be an economic power to get the White House and those people to move. You got to be putting money in their system. You got to play the game the way the game is played. You can't be playing Monopoly and then you trying to play checkers. It's different rules to each one. You got to play chess and Monopoly. Those are the two main games in America. Chess and Monopoly. How you move to get to the king, and how do you get that? How do you buy up shit in this country? That's how it go. That's the game. That is the game. Jody, I got to get you on here, man, because I want you to give me some updates on what's going on in Chicago, too. You can call in if you want to. 818-284-4613. I wanted people to hear how this system is really helping Chicago. You know, because Chicago should be a better system since Rocc was from there, Michelle was from there. You know, you would think that if any city should be on point, would be that city. Since he really understood how that city was dysfunctional in the black community area, you would think a brother claiming to be from that area would be one of the first places that he would fix. However, The murder rate went up. Killings are still going on. And all this stuff is going on, not only Chicago, any major city that's got a ghetto. It's happening. But yet we keep going to these damn white folks saying, can y'all help us? Can you do this for us? Can you make better schools? Can you do that? And that ain't it. Our community's got to first want to clean itself up, and then all our people who has wealth need to do what white people do: pull their money together, buy up some of these areas in the ghettos, fix them up, make it worth it, build some businesses, make it profitable, make people want to come in and shop. You got to do what white people do. They had that stuff set up how they want it to be, and it works. So that's what you got to do. You got to set your system up to be that kind of way, because if you don't, it's going to remain dysfunctional. The number is 818 Jody, 818-284-4613. 818-284-4613. Yeah, man. So, you know, my man Jody, he's up in Chicago, always in the streets, yo. Always out there being that soldier for us. And then and then nothing changes. You know, he's praying. He's always doing stuff. I love what that brother's doing. His grind is crazy for the love for his city. But I can't understand why. But you got a president who claimed the city. Now, I couldn't do that. I couldn't get in a place of power and have love for a place and don't use that place. Hold on, I'm gonna get Jody on right quick. Jody, 1 second, buddy. Oh, 1 second. I see. What's up, Joe?
How you feel, man?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I'm glad you called in. I've been wanting to get Jody on for a minute because this is what I call a street soldier. Like, Jody's in the streets up in Chicago, like for real out in them streets. I'm talking about really out there, you know, so. Hey, Joe, you got to turn the computer off or whatever you listening to the stream on, because I'm hearing the playback. Yeah, but I wanted you to kind of, since this is the President's Day and everybody pulling on the system to do something for our communities, I want you to tell me, since the 8 years that Barack has been in, and now Donald Trump, and before Barack, you know who you had in, what exactly has changed in Chicago as far as the black communities are concerned?
In my opinion, nothing changed in the communities. I mean, a lot of stuff that they say they're going to do, we never see it.
And that's, you know, and what you're saying is so true, man, because this is what I tell people all the time. You know, we keep going to, first you got to understand that the system was designed to not help us be functional at all. The whole reason that we are the way we are is because forefathers of European white people set it up where black Africans and now black Americans would never be successful, even if they put us in these cages called ghettos, and then they supply us with all the stuff, that's the drugs and the guns and everything that we don't bring in, and then they turn around and put it on us on why what you need to clean up your area and fix your place, and they know damn well that we didn't cause any of this. So all the meeting with these white people and the governments and everything, they're not going to come and do anything for the group that they know they have to keep oppressed. It just doesn't work. But yet we keep beating this dead horse, asking for stuff. And what I see you doing on Facebook, man, is a prime example that if the president, being from Chicago, I'm talking about Obama, claiming Chicago, not being from, claiming Chicago, and I think Michelle said she's from Chicago, and these people being natives of the city, knowing the dysfunction that's going on in the communities where we are, and you get in the highest seat in the office and you don't do anything specifically for that community that you come from, that you say you love, that gave you all this, that people knew you before the world knew you, that city knew you, and you don't do anything, nothing specifically for it. It's the crime rate went up, the killings went up, everything got worse. You seeing this in your city and you do nothing. I don't get it, brother.
Well, that's because what we have to understand, that everybody looking at the president, but we know that he's not the one that's really making the decisions, because if it was up to one person to make decisions, maybe it could have been something done or maybe not. But the main problem that we're having and why stuff is so out of hand is because you have a lot of people that say they from Chicago and they sit in these offices. But are they really from Chicago? Are they really? You could be from Chicago, but don't be from the streets. And the problem I'm having, which I'm telling everybody now, is to stay in their lane. Okay, we got all these politicians want to say, hey, man, this is what y'all need to do to fix the problem. First of all, you don't stay in our community. So how can you dictate to us how to fix our community? You don't know the heartbeat of our community. So the main thing they says is, okay, in order to stop the violence, yeah, you need economic development. We need to get in these schools. All that's true. But the main point is stopping the violence. How can we stop the violence? We can't put all those things in the same baskets. We have to do one thing at a time, because when you get a bunch of people in the room and they're talking about stopping the violence, and then you want to do the economic development, and you want to do all those are components to help stop the violence, but when you put them together, you're all over the place. And the only thing we end up doing is having meetings after meetings, and nothing is done.
Yeah. And the only reason I say you're right about the president thing, but I say it like this. I'll show you the power of the president, and I'll show you how you have to play the game of politics. We know that politics is a money-driven game. We know that if you ain't, it's like poker. If you ain't, you can't come to the table with no money. You just can't get in the game. So what I'm saying to you is the LBGT community got what they wanted because they played the game of politics. They put their pool and money together. They got their agenda on the table, and they got it on the table so high that the president just spoke on it. Just the mere fact that he spoke on it moved it into a whole nother different direction, so much so that he became what they call the gay president. So I'm saying that, yeah, you may not could do nothing personal, but your voice in endorsing something moves mountains. So to not even say anything, period, is not using your power for your people. Because if you can use it for for other people, other groups, the Latino and the Mexicans, they got the wall situation. So there were people who got agenda, got things taken care of. Our agenda is you got to put black people in a position so that we can win. You have to at some point talk about reparations, because every group has the economic beginning except for us. Our story shouldn't always be we started from the bottom, now we here. Our ghettos shouldn't be so poor that we can't even invest into our own thing. And the only reason we can't do it, the only reason you can't do it, Jody, is because your forefathers and your great-great-grandfather wasn't given the land and the opportunities like all white folk got to have, so that Jody would have started off as a millionaire, and then your community, I guarantee you, wouldn't look like it looks now. It would have been more like how Black Wall Street looked when it was just a lot of millionaires running that town that the white folk killed. That would have been our thing. So you can't not put economics or put us in an economic position or give us what was rightfully our ancestors and then tell us to fix something that you're clearly not going to put any money in at no level, from the president down to the government seats. Everybody know about Chicago, Detroit, all the other places that have just run down. There used to be vibrant black communities where there was money and stuff there, and then you just flip the script. So we can't play past the stuff that white folk did to make us the way we are, even to the point where we were trained not to even work together. One of your biggest challenges is probably getting people to just come together and just walk these streets with me, man. You know, just help me out. You ain't gonna get nobody out the church because they too comfortable and the streets are too dangerous, even though they know they got the Lord on their side. They not coming. It takes real soldiers, bro, like you, and that's why I'm always promoting you and putting your information out there, because it takes a real soldier to be out there in the midst of the on the firing line, bro. You're doing what you.
Our community, if our community will stand up, and like I tell everybody, I'm the voice for the community, but y'all need to come out and support me. If y'all come and stand up, it's a lot of stuff that can be done. We can make it happen, but we have to all come together. And that's the thing I'm having. It's like my van been down for a whole month since December 18th. And I've been trying to raise money to get my van fixed. And everybody say, oh, it's a good job. I'm glad you out here. Now they saying, where you been? I ain't seen you. I said, well, I'm having a problem with my van. I'm asking everybody to donate, $5 so I get my transmission on my van fixed, so I can get back out here, so I can feed the community, so I can bring the resources to the community. And everybody said they got me. Now here it is, going on 2 months now, and I'm still at the same spot. You know, then they asked me, well, what are we going to do about all this shooting? I only could do so much. You know, they just found somebody in the lagoon last night. that they pulled a body out the lagoon in the park last night. We just had a prayer, not a prayer walk, but we just did some canvas in community on Cicero and Chicago Avenue, and while we doing that, we get a phone call and somebody got killed on Laramie and Laramie and Adams, somewhere up in that area. But I'm saying this: if the community stand up, and we could be out here, we can't stop all the shooting, but if we stay out here enough, where people can come if they have a problem and talk to us and let's resolve stuff like men, we can slow it down.
Hey, man, I totally agree with you. Absolutely, 100% agree with you. But the problem that we have in the communities, what you're facing, Jody, is this. You're facing a people who are traumatized. The black community is a war zone. So you're asking people who are traumatized to come out and fight. Those people are so fearful of the community. To those are not going to be the ones you're going to get. Now, the ones that
I'm not even asking them to fight. I'm asking them to give a donation to keep me out here.
Yeah, I get that, and I was going to get around to that. So the places that you should be able to find soldiers and people who will help you, those are the people who won't even come to the table with you. And those are your like-minded brothers that say they are your brothers in the Lord. You know what I mean? That if they're not going to come help you, that's who I would be thinking that will come help you if anybody's going to come help you, because the streets and the community is traumatized. They don't even know. They don't even, and I know you want the money from them, but there are places that those funds could come from where you don't even have to worry about getting it from them, because I give to you every once as much as I can. You know what I mean? And I do what I can, but there should be, if you're willing to put your body, your life on the line, which means if your life is on the line, your life is on the line, your wife, your family, your people, you're putting your life on the line trying to make things better. At least if the soldiers in the army of the Lord is not going to come and join you on that front, the least they could do is financially support you in what you're doing. There's no reason. Well, I'm pretty sure the transmission probably don't cost what, $1,500?
Yep.
$1,500, Joe. And I know you from the streets. You probably threw $1,500 away in the strip club back in the day. You know, it's nothing. You know, so and that's why when we come to these places and we stop doing those things, those hustles where we used to make money, we know that that's nothing, because we know we used to blow through that like nothing. And then you get there and then you're trying to do things right, and then there's nobody to support you. There's no support system. So I'm speaking to the people in Chicago. My man Jody needs y'all help, man. He got a van that he needs fixed to go out in here in the streets and do something to help people, and he needs your help. Jody, give your information where they can send money to you, bro.
They can go to www.jehovah, JEHOVAH, Jireh, JIREH, 1.org. That's www.jehovahjireh1.org. They can go there and sow a seed.
Man.
And partner up with us. We have an event coming up February 25th at the By the Hand Club. We're going to play a few movies for the kids. They can play basketball. For the adults, they can play cards and dominoes, checkers. We're going to be playing music. We're going to have a few vendors out. You know, if you need a Costco card, come on out. We're going to have a young lady who's going to teach young ladies how to put on makeup properly so they can look nice and not like a clown.
Right.
So we have a lot of stuff that, you know, we moving forward, you know, before it get super hot out, we trying to engage and grab our babies and give them a place to go.
But man, I love what you're doing, bro. I love your heart for your community. I love that you're out here just doing it, because you don't have to be. There's so many who can do more than what you're doing. They just choose not to. And then that's why I wanted people to support you, man. And man, y'all follow my boys on Facebook, George Jody Bundy, George Jody Beatty. Sorry, George Jody Beatty on Facebook. Follow him, support him, man. Donate to his cause. He's out here in the Chicago streets doing what most people not even doing. You know what I mean? So I want y'all to support him, man, and keep it real with him. Jody, I thank you for calling in, bro. You know, and you're going to continue to always be in my prayers, man. I will always, as long as breath in my life, continue to support and let people know what you're doing, bro. I will never, ever support you, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. You keep up the good work, man, as far as getting that information and the knowledge out there.
Well, I'm doing my best, man. I thank you for joining us, though, bro. I appreciate you.
Okay, you have a good one.
All right, man. Be blessed. So that's my man Jody, yo, up there in Chicago doing his thing. You know what I mean? He's up there. He's making waves. I see this brother out in the street all the time. Biz, if it's got something, you want to say, Biz, if you're still in, hit me up at 818-284-4613. 818-284-4613. My boy Biz had a question. He said, we have to become non-dependent on where the country is headed. Should have been doing that a long time ago, but I get what you're saying. Question becomes, where are we headed? And that's the thing. There's a lot of plans out there that are taking us. There's a lot of brothers that I'm connected with who have awesome plans, like Dr. Claude Anderson. Power Numbers books is an awesome plan. You ain't never going to hear about it. Oh, snap. What's the day? That just made me remind me of something. I got to make a call. But anyway, like I was saying, Dr. Claude Anderson has a book, Power Numbers. Boris Watkins is another one you need to follow, Economic Genius, on how to get your kids financially and educated toward economic thinking versus just education toward getting a job. So all these things we got to know better. What's up, Cornell? And so those are the things we got to do. You know, I just jumped in because this is the President's Day, the 45th president. Everybody's looking at him, but I went all the way back to Reagan, from Reagan all the way up to Donald Trump today. And the question is, what specifically has the administration, government, or on any level, low, city, local, done specifically for any of the black communities? If you think they've done a lot, then you haven't been in the community lately, because they haven't. It's still killing, still dilapidated, the worst areas in the country. You know, the most dysfunctional group in America is black people, yet we are the most educated and making some of the biggest dollars than a lot of people in America, non-black, and yet we can't break that Willie Lynch, keep them separated, hate your brother, light skins against dark skins, envy, all this. We can't break these cycles, but we continue to come to the system that put us in the situation we're in today, asking that same system to somehow change their heart and have a do right by us good old black folk, because we've been in every war, we've been in everything for this country. We've been over backwards, but yet we're the most disrespected people on the planet. There's no way you can be part of the trinity of this country. The white folks stole it, but we're part of being here along with Native America, and we're the worst off than any other group in here. We're not immigrants. We were brought here. We're not that. You know, we didn't get no land, we didn't get no money, we didn't get anything. But yet still, everybody points the finger at why are you black people the way you are? And I say it's because we have not come together and take care of our own stuff, which is the hardest thing in the world to do. How do you make a dysfunctional group that's been trained not to work together somehow figure out that we need to work together? Because the common denominator that I hear from most people is, how do you fix black America? You fix black America by coming together. What is the hardest thing for black America to do? Is come together. Which book are you talking about, Cornell? What's the book called? Economic Genius. You talking about Dr. Anderson? Dr. Anderson's book is called Power. Oh, you talking about economics? That's Dr. Boris Watkins. He has several little books, man. I don't know if that's one of them. It could be. It could be. You know, but look him up, Dr. Boris Watkins, man. When you want your children in his schools, his education system, because it prepares them in a different fate. You know, like America's school systems should not still be teaching the same shit that they taught my mother and me and my children and soon to be my grandchildren. If you're still teaching American children the same curriculum that I learned, then you're an outdated system. We know that America is no more not industrial anymore. It's in the information age. So your education system has to be according to that. But we don't have to wait on white America to fix that. If we could just break this cycle of not working together, we could fix this ourselves, man. We could make this happen ourselves. We know what to do. We got the finances, we got the education, we got the resources, and we could just build it. If it don't want to convert to the way that functional people are supposed to act, then you build it. I guarantee you, most of you living in a suburb somewhere. That suburb was somebody's dream. That suburb started off being one subdivision, 2 subdivisions, 3, and then after a while it became attractive to franchises and businesses and malls and shit. And they started building that. That ain't no 5-year plan. That's some 10, 15, 20, 50, 100-year plans. But they build it and people come. So black people got to do the same thing. We got to break that cycle of that Willie Lynch not working together. And that our only way of getting out of this run, this epidemic that we're in, is that we have to figure out how do we work together and pool our resources and our things together to make this thing work, man. You're not going to get it from the system. The system is designed not to give you a dime. It's only set up to make you a functional working person in their communities. Period. Nothing else comes with it. Nothing else comes with it. That's it. You don't get it. You don't get it. If you want to talk, 818-284-4613. We got about 15 more minutes and then we're going to be out of here. 818-284-4613. So, President's Day, I'm just off. You know, I ain't celebrating. I never did celebrate it anyway. You know, I don't think nobody did. It's just more of a focus now because we have people, Trump haters, or not happy with Trump, or however you want to put it. You know, but at the end of the day, you can say he ain't your president, but the fact of the matter, he's America's president. And to the rest of the world, he's the president. So you better figure out what you're going to do to try to fix the next 4 years coming up, because trust me, they're coming. And if you sit back and just pout like little kids and don't get out and do nothing, then you guess what? He's going to have 8 years. And then you're going to be really running around here with your head, looking like a chicken with your head cut off. But it's just how it go. And nothing you can do about it. But my focus is, how do we fix us, yo? And the only fix we got is we got to, our athletes and all our successful 1%ers, which I call as our wealthy people, the billionaires, millionaires, multimillionaires, got to at some point do what white wealthy people do. They pool their resources together. They build shit. They make jobs. They go out and build communities. They make their areas safe. Why do you think 90%, well, I ain't gonna say that. Let's say 60%, and maybe a little higher, of our black people, or I'll do it like this. Most of our successful black people, why do you think they don't live in the communities that they grew up in? We grew up with everybody around us. This is our community, our neighborhood, our hoods, whatever you want to call it. We grew up in these places, and then when we become wealthy or we make good money, we move out. Why do we move, people? Why do you think we move out of those communities? You want to know why? Because we're looking for freaking safety. And the suburbs where the white folk live, who don't want you there, is safer. You rather deal with them not wanting you there than to deal with maybe having to deal with gunfire and all this kind of stuff. So instead of us taking our monies and investing into these cheap properties in our communities, building businesses and hotels and being self-sustaining like Black Wall Street was, we rather go out and move out and then just let the dysfunctional people take over the community. And we got our old grandmothers and our old aunties and everybody that's there old, all in a war zone, and they can't even function. Can you imagine waking up every day dealing with that type of shit, yo? Every day you wake up, you dealing with a war zone. And that's why we leave. And I bet you most of these people who call themselves my friends live outside of the black community on Facebook. We got programs, Biz. I just told you, get the book, Power Numbers. It gives you a breakdown of everything, how to fix it all. But you're never going to hear that because nobody's putting that on mainstream. That's not mainstream focus. That's not the focus of mainstream right now. Oh, I got to get this in. It's not the focus of mainstream right now. So it goes. But feel free to call in. I love to talk about it. 818-284-4613. Call in. Let's talk about it. How do we build it? This is the fix right here, bro. I know it's backwards. It's not me putting it backwards. It's Facebook. They just spell things backwards. This is Power Numbers by Dr. Claude Anderson. I went through this the other week when we was talking about different things that the fixes that are in here. How do winners and losers, how winners and losers are predetermined. This is a system that's set up. It's just not America and how it functions. There's a system in place to navigate people who will win and who won't win. This is a system started back way before we were birthed, on how you're going to function, how this thing is going to work. When I talk to you about real shit, this is real stuff. Willie Lynch is part of our DNA. We don't get along within our own people. That we would never talk to work together as a group, except for when we were picking cotton. That's the only time they worked together, and that wasn't because they wanted to. That's because they had to. Power numbers talking about the keys to empowerment. There's a structure, there's a strategy that has to go on about how do you put all this together. And I'm not talking about no 5-year fix. I'm talking about this. You got to think hundreds of years down the line. This is what white people think. They don't think about no 5-year plan. That's what they want you to think about. 5-year, long term. They only think about long term, and their long term is like hundreds of years. How is this thing going to work? They got it mapped out to how it's always going to work. The reason you got the 45th president is because of a plan. There was a plan put into action called the Electoral College voting system, which white folk put in to manipulate the system in case the people voted on somebody they did not want. So it came into play with Donald Trump. Hillary won by the popular vote. Donald Trump won by the system's loophole. We don't want Hillary. Or Hillary didn't do something they didn't like. Whatever the reason was, they put Donald in. And not because the people said it, but because the loophole that they put in place took it. What else, Biz? That's chapter 2. Hold on a second. Chapter 3 talks about building competitive communities. You got to know how to do that. It don't just happen. There's a strategy on how you build this stuff. And that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm starting mine in North Carolina. Y'all hear me say it? I'm getting 36 acres, working on it now. Get ready to build it. If the community is so out of control to where it won't revert back to what you think it should be, then you got to build somewhere else where you feel like you got to build your own suburbs and all that kind of stuff. And if you build it, people will come. But you got to do it. Biz say he has an answer, but Biz won't call in. I get it. Call in and give me your answer. 818-284-4613. Chapter 4. Restructuring schools for for our group to be competitive. You can't just keep teaching our kids the same thing in an environment that's changed from what America's education system is. You just can't keep doing it, man. It don't work like that. I mean, that's just a setup for some type of failure, bruh. It's not gonna work. We're gonna see if Biz call in. He says he has an answer. I'm always open to answers. That's what TBBC88FM is all about. We look for solutions while we're educating you on why we are the way that we are. We didn't just wake up one day and say we just want to be a dysfunctional people, man. It just didn't happen like that. So at the end of the day, what's the fix, Biz? I'm open. Chapter 5 talks about practicing group economics. Practicing group economics. It's just not going to happen. This is something like, when they say you want to break a habit. If you do something for 30 days, they say, well, it can change to that. It can change. You can change that habit of what you have. So that's what we got to do as Black Americans. We have to change our habits, our economic habits. And it just goes on and on, man. Power numbers. I know it's backwards, so don't say nothing. Just the way that it does. This is my man Biz Markie calling in. Let's see what he got to say. What's up, Busy? Welcome to the show, bro.
Hey. Okay, I was trying to make sure I had the right number.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, this is my boy Biz Mark, man. We go back, way back. Biz. Two Biz is what he used to be called when I.
So you know who I am. That's good.
Yeah. Come on, Biz. Why would I forget you, bro? But anyway, I'm sitting here. I was reading my timeline on Facebook, and people were talking about the 45th, how they ain't his president, and all this kind of stuff, and just made me start thinking. I personally went back from Reagan all the way up to president. and asking like, what specifically have any of them really done for the black community when it comes down to it? And I know people say, well, the president can't do this, but the president has power to do a lot of things. He can do some things, So, but I was reading your comments, and you were saying we build right now, need programs, and then you said I have an answer. I have answers.
Yeah, I've been solving this problem for over 30 years. I think about this every day. This hasn't been something that, because of the recent happenings with the politics that I've begun thinking about recently, I have had a calling on my life for a very long time. And as a result, I have been building for a very long time. I don't know if you knew about Fishnet Ministries. After I evolved as a gospel rap evangelist, I let that go for a minute because I wasn't getting the kind of responses that I was looking for from pastors. They would treat you like, even though I was 35 at the time, going around, they would treat me like I was some kid. But meanwhile, if they had some other clergyman, dressed up in a suit, though, he'd be in the back with them having lunch. So I got sick of that and stopped thinking that maybe I could build these linkages by linking churches together and creating a movement that way. I began to think in terms of creating my own parachurch ministry, which I did, which is called Fishnet Ministries. Now, I haven't done anything with that for a while because in 2005 and 2006 is where I began doing events called Unity Fest, which was similar to the Holy Hip Hop Awards, what Eddie and them was doing at the time, but it had a different spin because I was always looking for ways to show that if I build it, the kids will come. So when I did that about twice, 2005, 2006, it did prove that if I built it and with the right marketing campaigns, people would gravitate towards entertainment that was wholesome, and we had all different things: gospel rappers, singers, dancers, mimes, all working together to achieve that. But that wasn't the vision that God gave me. The vision that God gave me was later on to take something like that, though, and make it part of the charter of the Fishnet Ministries installation so that we could put these installations in all different cities. And now I'm beginning to see the importance of not just putting them in the urban cities, but also putting them in installations like that into the rural white communities as well, so that you could begin to create some synergy between American people, whether they're black or white, whether they're urban or whether they live in Utah. Okay. These installations wouldn't be separate and onto themselves, because I know people will say, well, this has been done before. You got people out there doing stuff. Yeah, you got, like Prime Time, he's doing something. You got different people out there doing stuff with independent schools. I get that. But this wasn't to be that. This was to be like computers on a LAN. This was to be a network of installations that are all networked together and have the same charter. And basically the charter of each one is to make a difference in some kind of measurable area, such as helping unwed mothers with babysitting, or helping kids with tutoring, or helping kids to learn martial arts so they won't be out there joining gangs. These are different, those are just three examples, but there are lots of different programs you can put into these installations. Once that's created, we have a network, and then it becomes possible to provide, events like what I did back in 2005 and 2006 every quarter, because every installation would be responsible for doing a Unity Fest event every quarter. So there'd be four Unity Fests going in every city. Once we do that, we don't have to worry about whether these kids will come. They will absolutely come. At that point, you'll have an equal playing field between the world trying to influence our kids one way and us providing, without complaining, without fighting with anyone, and without coming down and condemning anyone. We're just simply providing the holy alternative.
And that,
with me?
Yeah, I feel you, and that's needed. You know what I mean? But
okay.
Let me ask you. Let me
go one step further.
All right.
So that's the pipe dream, right? Okay. Now the question becomes, well, how the heck do you do that without no money? Well, that's the point. I'm not. I have to create the money. The wealth has to be there, and I don't want to have to beg anybody for it. So when I asked God that same question, he gave me the answer. He told me I'm a technologist. I'm an MIT graduate. In addition to being two-biz, I'm also an MIT graduate. Okay, I graduated in '85. I have also friends that are MIT graduates. So if you can have Mark Zuckerberg, who went to Harvard for 2 days and then dropped out and got funding, then why can't Biz Barrett get funding? I didn't even drop out. I graduated and also got my master's and also been in the industry for 25 years and have friends who are also MIT graduates who've been in the industry for a long time. So it's time for us now to get funded. And when we do, we're going to create this technology that's just as good as Siri or better. We're going to create personal assistance technology that helps people. It's going to be right in your device. And this is why we need programmers. We need programmers who are skilled, and at the same time understand what we're trying to do. The stronger we get with our programming team, the more likely that we'll be able to succeed. We'll be able to impress people like Zuckerberg and others who want to get a hold of our technology. Once that happens, we have bank. Once we have bank, we go back to the original purpose that God has commissioned me with, which is Fishnet Ministries. And we go back to the original plan that we talked about before. We go into a phase now where we start building brick and mortar facilities all around the country in all different cities, and not just urban cities. I'm talking about all cities. And we network them on a computer network, and it becomes almost like a Craigslist where everybody who has needs talks to each other. So if you want to talk about these coal miners kids, these coal miners kids who, try to make Trump look like a hero because he wants to bring back coal for the coal miners kid, well, no. Guess what? That community, I don't care how much they hate, if they're hating or if they're part of some supremacist movement, who cares? Point is, I'm about kids, man, and I'm about Christ. So are they going to really, really hate me if I tell them that their coal miners kid doesn't have to mine coal? Mining coal ain't nothing but going in a hole. If I tell them that their kid is greater than a coal mining, and I tell them that their kid can go to MIT just like me, and I teach them how to do it, and I give them math skills so that they can go and get a great score on the SAT or the ACT so that they can get scholarships and go to college, do you think they're going to hate me after that? I don't think so.
Man, I probably think they will, but that's just my personal opinion. I look at it like this. The only reason, most of us, like you and myself, right, we've been blessed to be visionaries. I mean, God gives us, I'm pretty sure you got probably a stack of them over there just waiting to be birthed. And that's just how God do visionaries. Now, now this is what I just try to get people to see. Even with the God factor, there's nobody that love God more than me. And I move and breathe because of that. But I'm also awakened to the truth of America and what I see with my eyes, not the spiritual side, just what's the flesh side of what I see. And what I see is that there was a deliberate system set up for us to not have what you need today. Now, Mark and Trump and all these other people who were able to, for their families to have that, what they call that generational wealth that we pray to God for generational wealth. We pray to God for generational wealth because there is a significant piece of the puzzle that comes with generational wealth. That means my great-great-granddaddy had money that he passed to his son to his son to his son on up to me, so that our stories won't always be that we started from the bottom, now we're here. So without that, so you don't have a lot of black people that Two Biz, the pot is not that big for Two Biz to be able to sit down and talk with people who have money within his own community first, because I think personally the reason that the black community and what we are doing is the way it is because there is no economic wealth for us to start off on. And then there was a deliberate plan to get us to the point of where we are today. No matter what nobody say, you just got to go and read the books and all the stuff that's written down. That there was a deliberate plan to have us dysfunctional. So until we figure out that even with all that planning, we, for some kind of reason, grace of God, that we have become successful people in different areas individually. But what's the missing piece to the whole puzzle is that we have not been taught how to work and function as a group. Now, even the coal miners people, they have a group of people that's working for them to make sure that they can function. Even if Donald Trump is working to bring the coal mining business back, for them, that's somebody working in their corner that has power. The black community does not have that group.
I got that. I am that. I'm saying that's what I am. But I'm not gonna go out there and tell people all that and try to wear that on my collar or put a T-shirt on saying I'm the Superman. It's about just doing what you call to do, and God will pick you up. I ain't worried about all that. I'm worried about being considered a leader or nothing like that. All I know is that I have answers and I have solutions, and I'm supposed to make
I get that. But
so for right now, all I need is some programmers.
But I get that.
I'm gonna just keep it simple.
I get that.
Just keep it simple.
But you can't get to the end result without going through what got it to where it is today, though, Biz. At the end of the day, you still got to educate people on why. Even if you got the solution to the fix, they still got to know.
No, I'm with you on that, but that's what after, no doubt, I get you on that. But you see, now this is where the power of technology come in. All right, you're dealing with somebody who's an MIT graduate, in addition to being two biz, the gospel rap evangelist. So what I'm talking about is the empowerment that comes, even as Rocc has discovered now how to use Facebook Live to make his voice heard. Good, God bless his heart. Good for him, because I know he's not a technology star, but I am though. And what I'm saying is that there will come a time when, because of the things that we can achieve as a result of the right kind of funding backing me, because I've come up with this patent pending technology solution. What happens now is they're gonna want a piece of it, but in so doing they're gonna have to blow me up. But the whole purpose of me blowing up is because I prayed Jabez's prayer way back in the day, and God said, "Okay, I got you. I see your faithfulness. I can trust you." So when he does bless me with that, that's when what you're saying absolutely comes to light. Because at that point now, we utilize the technology. We utilize the fact that these installations are networked, and just like Rocc is doing right now, he's using Facebook. Rocc is inadvertently he's depending on Mark Zuckerberg technology right now. But in the future, you won't have to depend on that, because all you'll need is a internet connection, and I will build the technology that makes it possible for us to network and broadcast our opinions. And then so when we have solutions like what you're talking about, and you're saying, Biz, but you have to educate the people, of course, because we'll have our own network. It won't be a TV network, but it'll be a network by which, just like Rock's doing right now, that people can get on and who's following, who will actually listen. And if they're listening, they'll implement the ideas we're talking about. And by then, whether people are calling me a leader or not, I don't care. Point is, I will have solutions that if you implement them, they will work.
Yeah, and I get that.
If you listen to what I'm saying, you can actually make a difference in your children's life.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
the thing about it too is this: you got to the people. So you don't need any financial backing, is what you're saying. You just need programmers.
Right, because I won't create the finances through my invention. That's what God told me to do. He told me don't depend on no financial help from nobody. He told me you are that. Go and get it.
But at the end of the day, so even if you go to the people, you're going to them, the gift of what you're making will create the finances that you're looking for. So at the end of the day, but what I'm saying to you is this. What I'm trying to get people to understand is that we do need financial backing. It's not that
I'm not trying to skirt around and try to tell people what's going on with them. And I applaud everything you're saying and what Rocc's saying and what people have to do. I was just sharing with you what I meant when I said I have answers.
Okay.
And they're not self-proclaimed answers either. They are answers that I have waited patiently for over the years and have gone to God several times with pain in my heart, asking God, I have to do something. I'm asking you right now, what can I do? And God says to me, you are a technologist. I have given you the spirit of innovation, the same way that Mark Zuckerberg has it, the same way that Steve Jobs has it. I have made you a black inventor.
I get it. Now, my job is this. Like, my thing, what I'm doing, my goal is God has connected me with people who are able to fund situations like that. So, because I know that one of the things that's missing out of most people, from most people's visions that God give them, is the money to be able to bring that thing to life. So not only the gift was already put in you at birth. That's nothing. Now the connections is what God got to connect you with. Now the other pieces of the puzzle that bring it to life. And usually that is the person who says, I like what you're doing. I want to fund that situation. And let's get behind it and make it happen. What is it that you need? And then even in that funding of what you're doing, it's just the nature of how life is. Once the business becomes that business, brother, do you won't have a problem finding any programmers in the world. They gonna come and knock at your door.
Exactly.
Huh?
Yeah, because and you're absolutely right. And it's because, and at that point, you will have a member of your team who is tech savvy and on the cutting edge of information technology.
Well,
at which point we can implement anything we want, and I'm talking about solutions, things that help people to communicate better, things that help people to share solutions. Things that, let's say, for example, I'll show you how you can take something like LinkedIn and flip it so that it becomes automatically useful to the community. Somebody says, I need a piano. That should link to somebody else, and eventually that should link to somebody that says, you know what, I have a piano.
Right.
And as a result of that technology, that linkage should be made.
Right.
Okay. And when that linkage is made, somebody who has a heart to give a piano finds the same person who has a desperate need for a piano exactly at the same time. And that exchange has happened and is facilitated and is made happen by the technology itself.
In real time. I like that. I mean, like I said,
that's just one example, my brother, out of thousands. Because remember, I have been asking God for help and for solutions for so long, and without having the money, all I could do is build up these ideas after another. Man, listen, when I was in college in '83, I was at MIT then. Okay, before I graduated and even became too busy, I was at MIT. Back in the day when New Edition was coming up, we used to do talent shows. I was locking and popping as part of this dance troupe called the Star Jammers back then. Maurice Starr used to do talent shows, and that's when the New Edition got discovered. Man, I was in a talent show with New Edition. We came in third, they came in first. Trust me, that's where I was back then. But back then, man, I thought of the iPad back then. I thought of the iPad when I was going to class, and I was saying, why the heck do I have to be carrying a notebook? I'm going to the most technical school in the world. What is a notebook? And I used to say there should be some kind of pad that looked like something like the Etch-a-Sketch. Remember the Etch-a-Sketch back in the day? I used to say there should be some kind of pad that looked like the Etch-a-Sketch where I could just, I could either type in my stuff or I could just use a stylus or a pen and just draw what he got on the board and press a button and it should just go into the memory of that thing.
Right.
I used to say, man, I should be able to read the paper off of this thing. I mean, like, why doesn't something like that exist? Man, that was in '83. And then after that, the iPad eventually came out.
That's why I said the gifts. Like I tell people all the time, God don't just give one thought to one person. That ain't how he do it. He gives that thought to many people. And then it's about who moves on it and try to bring it to life. Now the part that's missing in our community, and I have to keep coming back to that, is usually those people can find somebody of their same group to give them money to do something, whether it's $1,000 or whatever, because I don't think it took much for Facebook or whatever, but the fact is that most of them have people that they can go to, and that's usually the downfall in our community, because and I know that we've been connected to enough wealthy churches that this concept that you have here, brother, should be a no-brainer to meet with somebody that's of influence of the cloth and say this would be a good thing to invest into. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is that you're probably not going to find that. And then you probably ain't got nobody in your family that can dump that type of money into you because we don't have that generational stuff. So I'm just trying to say, I'm like you. If you build it, people will come. So you just got to find out what it is God wants you to build and find the money to bring it to life and watch the people come. Because everything on this planet that we use in America was a vision from somebody, and somebody got behind that vision and made it happen. And so I'm believing that what you're going to do is going to be good, too. I will use whatever resources I got, to try to get the word out. I know you hit me a couple of times on Facebook about programmers, and I put it out on my network. I constantly put it out there. Haven't had any hits back, but, you plant the seeds, and pretty soon those seeds will harvest. You know what I mean? So, but technology is at the top of the list. I personally think that the school system is not teaching our kids to even move in that direction. It used to be a time where a kid should be graduating with a low level of technology to at least get a job and grow, but they don't even offer vocational schooling teaching no more. They don't even teach you how to do any of that. They want to keep you in a place where you go to school, go to college, get in debt, figure out a job, still in debt. It's just that pattern of how do we lock you in the system versus how do we teach you to even want to be a programmer. It's like they don't even get that until they get into college and pick a course. You know what I mean? So a lot of things have to change to make all this stuff happen for us. But I just think that the fix is really within ourselves. Before we can help other groups, I think our group got to really focus on helping us, because it's really hard to help others when you can't even help yourself. You know what I mean? So, and once we figure out that everything that God has for us is really locked within our community, once we figure that out, that everything we want, like I heard churches say something, every need that's needed in the church, God has supplied. I believe that in our communities, every need that's needed.
Yeah. So some of those concepts definitely need to be applied, and trust me, even as I grow, I have the fortunate position right now to really be able to see like what it is that God's going to do with me after He blesses me with the provision, and that's the cool part. Because I had to go through this long period of being steadfast and being faithful that the provision would eventually come. And during that time, I was able to build everything that we're talking about. I've only shared with you one idea. There are several. But all of them are to some extent dependent upon
technology,
creating this wealth.
Yeah.
Not even the technology. Some of it's wealth. Some of it's creating the wealth. Some of it's technology. Some of it's education based stuff. Because I tutor kids every day, and that that's just part of who I am. But I always have looked at what it is that I do as being something that is scalable. Meaning, how do you scale it? I've always thought about that because I'm saying, I could be doing something in my own backyard, and I'm not knocking anybody who does great things in their backyard. Let them continue to do that. But that wasn't what God put on me, though. He put a huge calling on me that I can remember dreams that I had when I was a young man in my early 20s that stayed with me until now, that have never left me. And as a result, I realize how great I am supposed to be without necessarily the title of great. You know what I'm saying? But just to fulfill these dreams, these visions that God has given me is enough. And every time throughout all these years, you think the latest things that have happened with the cops and things going on with police is new to me? Heck no. I've been lamenting over that stuff since the days of Yusef Hawkins, man. I'm from New York. Okay, so this is nothing new to me. Even on my first album, I got a song called Wall is Blue, What the Wall of Blue, and I was talking about in that song about how, if you want to know the truth, you're going to have to break down the wall of blue. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know where I'm coming from musically, Rocc. One of my best songs on my last album was one that I did with your son, man.
Yeah.
And and people loved that song, man, because it was like Nas, I Know I Can. It was like that, And and in that song, I'm encouraging kids to recognize they can do all things through Christ that strengthens them. If they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer, they want to be a leader. Of course, the song, as you know, is called I Can Do That.
Right.
So man, I'm saying we can do that. We can do that. It's just a matter of how, and I don't say a lot because I'm about doing it, I'm about being that rather than talking about it. So if I don't say a whole lot, man, it's because I'm working, I'm grinding, and little by little I'm making it happen. I have a patent that's patent pending. It's on the internet right now. You can look it up for my technology. I'm going to be, have a Facebook presence soon for the Helper Box project. I'm going to be in a position to present that in such a way that it will be extremely attractive. People will be very, very attracted to the notion of personal assistance. which is beyond just what Siri and Google app now do now. When you think about how many people need assistance, that's when it begins to really show across all these business sectors, across all these different types of customers, across all these different types of personal assistance and help that people want. You know, our tagline is save time, automate help. And what's going to be the result of that? People will have more time. They will have more bandwidth. They will have their time back. Some of the things that they would like to do that they don't have the time to do will be automated so that it'll be possible. Think about your grandma who got like 25 or who knows, 50 grandchildren. She wants to keep track of all their birthdays and anniversaries and all that. But that's daunting, especially for somebody who's older and who might be catching a little bit of dementia and all that. So why not have our elderly even be tech savvy enough to have personal assistance? Because I know the heart of an older person. They want to know that they're still relevant. They want to know that they have loved ones who care about them, and they want the ones that they care about to know that they care about them, and they want to hear from them, and they want them to know that they wishing them a happy birthday or a happy anniversary, or a gift is on the way or a card is on the way. This is the heart of the elderly person. They don't want to be feeling like they're irrelevant anymore, and people don't pay no attention to them. Stuff like this is what this technology can help people with.
Well, man, I'm with it, bro. Like I said, I'm going to do my part to do what I can to try to get the word out. And as I run into these gates are not for me. They never have been. I've been a gate opener since ever. That's been the spirit that God has always given me. So I'm with it, man. Technology is a big part of what I think we need to fix our community too, because there's not a lot of people teaching it. So I'm thanking you, Biz. I'm thanking you, man, for the gift God was giving you, man. And any way I can help promote it, man, I want to have you back on just to talk about, not to give the whole thing, but enough to get people interested enough to say, well, damn, maybe I should get with brother and see what's going on, because no problem, no doubt. I have a hashtag that you can follow what I've been posting. I've been real current. I've been up to date. The technology is called HelperBots, HELPER, and I'll also type that in so people can see it, and then it'll be part of the saved version of the video. Okay. But and people will know if you look up hashtag HelperBots or hashtag I am the HelperBot Inventor, what you'll see is a stream of posts that I've made that are very, very current. Like, for example, we could have used bots to get through Hillary's emails in less than 8 days. Mm-hmm. We could have used helper bots even if Trump had decided to use a technology like that to more appropriately apply some vetting rules for people entering the country. He could have used a technology like that to make it fair and implement that in a way that was not so brash and so insensitive. And it could have been something, if it was technology based, that could have been tweaked. So if it didn't work the first time, you don't stop there. You go further to say, well, we need to add some intelligence to this system. We need to look for example, there needed to be some added intelligence for people that come from Iraq, right? He put that country on the list, but these are the people we're fighting with. So how can you do that? Obviously, there needed to be some additional vetting when it came to somebody from that country, right? But no, it was done clumsily. And as a result, now you've offended people. And you've hurt people. See, so this is where the effective use of technology can come in, even into things like homeland security and stuff like that. And that's why the solution is way bigger than me, and way bigger than the original application that I thought of that inspired me to write all this down. Because what does Habakkuk say, right? Write the vision. That's right. And people who read it will run with it, right? So what was the original inspiration? The original inspiration was that I wanted to help kids learn. I'm a tutor, so I tutor every day. I know the heart of a child that wants to be able to do homework and doesn't have help.
and the parents don't have money for tutors. So what did I think of? I thought we might be able to create some automated tutors or some tutoring robots that could help kids in ways that would be beyond people. Right. So all our kids needed would be an internet connection, and I would provide the rest of the solution. That's what God gave me. But once I sat down and thought about how helpful this would be across the board, across all different types of customers, all different business sectors, and all different types of personal assistance, that's when it became clear just how big this was. That's when God confirmed. That's what God confirmed to me. He said, "Well, Biz, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you who you are? Didn't I tell you that the provision will come?" And that's when I said, obediently, I said, "Okay, yes, Lord. I line myself up with your purpose for me." And this is what's happening, Rocc, little by little.
That's what's up, man. TBBC 88 FM. We are the people's place, man. We look for solutions. My man, Too Biz, man. Thank you for joining, bro. I look to have you on a little more because, like I said, we want to share this information and this knowledge to our people because that's what it is with me, man. This is why I started the TBBC 88 FM, which is simply the building block community, meaning that we are a whole lot of blocks and we stacking and building stuff over here. So solutions are needed, man. I appreciate you. We're gonna be praying for you, bro. Keep your vision and that your vision comes to life in God's timing and everything. So keep at it, man. You know, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
I sure will. I'm gonna put that information in now so everybody can have it.
Yeah, please put it on the post. All right, people. Hey, that's my man Too Biz. Y'all appreciate him jumping in and talking to us. You know, he got some answers. Hey, it's all about, you know, technology is where we are. He's a man that just God has given a vision, just like the rest of us. You know, mine is different. Mine is like mine. His is like his, but it all benefits us as a group. If we can bring these things together and work as a group, man, we would be a powerful nation inside of the nation. So that's what I'm looking for, man. This your boy, Big Rocc. TBBC 88 FM is the place where you hanging out. And just wanted to say, man, thank y'all for calling in. Thank Too Biz. Who else here? Who else was I talking to? I was talking to Jody up in Chicago doing his thing in the streets. He's still needing some funding. They're gonna put the information on the page here where you can go and support Jody. He just needs his truck fixed so he can get out there and do work in these dangerous Chicago streets where a lot of us ain't gonna go. We're just not gonna go. You just don't feel like it's your calling. It ain't your thing. But what you can do from the comfort of your recliner or your couch or your big TV or whatever you're doing is that you can send some money that way, and that can help. And that's all we're asking. Just support it. Support this. Help me get the information out. Hit the share button. Let your friends hear it. You know, I love Too Biz. I think that what he's got, the brother's always been like a genius in that tech stuff. He's right. You know, he has it. So at the end of the day, man, I just want y'all to remember that we love y'all over here, man, and we just want to make sure that we keep the family business going at all times. You know, so I've been good, man. It's time for me to go. I've been on here for about an hour and a half, way longer than what I wanted to be. It was supposed to be just 45 minutes. But 45 minutes to an hour. But, you know, when it's good, it's good. And that's the thing about owning your own station. You can go as long as you want to. And ain't nobody can tell you how to cut it off. So, but share the button. Hit the share button, man. Invite people in next time we in. Just remember the 45th president is going to do what he's going to do. Prepare yourself to live accordingly. I think you should prepare just anyway. Just be prepared. It's better to be prepared than to be unprepared and something happen. You know, so just be smart about how you do life and do life. Is what I'm saying. TBBC 88 FM. I'm your boy, Big Reason. This is the people's voice. This is the block. The block is talking. And guess what? Right now, the block is out of here.